Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today we will be starting the second section of the Scouts Pouch series we have going on the channel. If you didn't know, Scouts Pouch is a series on my channel where I talk about every single scout weapon in the game. Talking about the stats of the weapon, how to use the weapon, what it works well with, and pretty much everything else you'll need to know when it comes to using the pistol in TF2. And then when we eventually finally finish the Scout series, we'll be moving on to somebody else, so probably the Soldier. Don't know if I've said that in one of these series before, but yeah, we're going to be doing this for every class, I think. So the pistol is fairly simple. It's a semi-automatic pistol and it's the default secondary weapon choice of the Scout and the Engineer. But right now we're not going to talk about the Engineer. The pistol comes in strange quality and also decorated quality, so if you have war paints you want to use on the pistol, you can do. The strange pistol also comes from crate 23 and 42, and you can use whichever war paint you want on it pretty much, so there's a lot of customization you can do here. Or if you had a little bit of cash that you wanted to burn, you could buy the Luger Morph, which is just a fancy reskin of the pistol. There's no other changes to it, despite how it looks, you'll just feel cooler, I guess. That's also why the Luger Morph isn't going to get its own Scouts Pouch episode, because it's literally just a reskin. So the pistol loads 12 shots into the clip with an extra 36 shots in reserve. It might sound like a lot, but if you use the pistol frequently without refilling your ammo, you're going to start struggling very quickly. The pistol's base damage is 15 health per shot, however TF2 wiki didn't give me damage per range like they did with the Scaticans because the pistol damage is shown in maximum ramp up and maximum fall off. Which I read about since I didn't really understand it fully, and what I got from it was that it was basically dealing damage depending on distance from the target, so I'm not sure why they changed it for the pistols because it's basically the same as the damage ranges, but whatever. So you deal 15 base damage with the pistol, which is actually really decent if you hit the majority of your shots. You could kill somebody very quickly. The pistol's maximum ramp up damage per shot is 22, which is actually really good and absolutely devastating because if you hit even 4 or 5 shots, you've dealt at least 88 damage to an enemy, and depending on what class you're fighting, that could be the majority of that class's health, which is sick. Unless maybe you're fighting a heavy that you haven't dealt any damage to before, then they might just be a little bit angry and not low on health at all. And the maximum fall off damage that the Scout does is 8, which, yeah, not so great. So now that you guys know about the damage that the pistol outputs, it's time to talk about how to properly use this weapon, the best situations for it, how it is in 1v1 fights, and when we get further into discussing the secondary weapons, we're going to be talking a little bit about when the weapon we are discussing is better than choosing stock, and when stock would be the better choice, but we're talking about the stock weapon now, so we can't say when it's going to be better, because it's that weapon. So firstly, when is the best time to use the pistol? The pistol is a great gun because it is amazing in a whole bunch of situations. The most common use of the pistol is when you are trying to close the gap between you and the enemy, especially if the enemy is a good distance away. Whenever I think of that, I always think of shooting mid on Badlands. I don't really know why, but that's the kind of range I'm thinking of. So when you and another enemy peek out of the house on their side of mid, you could use the pistol to tap away at them while running closer to deal the bigger hits with the scattergun. But really, it would work in any situation where the range of the scattergun isn't high enough to actually deal enough damage, and you can use the pistol instead to chip away at them. That is if you actually want to engage that enemy. If not, stay away. Just don't shoot them. Another really good use for the pistol is when you are fighting another enemy in close quarters, one-on-one. Especially in scout fights, I find that I shoot all 6 of my scattergun shots really quickly, and I might have hit 1 or 2, maybe even 3, but it wasn't very good, but the enemy is still alive. You could reload your scattergun and hope you hit the guy with that last shot, or you could pull out your pistol and spray another 12 bullets at the enemy super quickly. And a lot of the time just having the pistol equipped wins you that fight, especially because at close range it can be very deadly if you are accurate with it. And probably you'll have a lot of time to actually shoot at the enemy because they will be reloading their scattergun because they're using a Mad Milk, Bonk Atomic Punch, anything like that. So while they're reloading, you've got time to spray those 12 bullets and hopefully finish them off. Or else you're just in one of those really awkward scout battles where both of you are missing a lot, but it's kind of just, you don't know who's worse because you keep missing, reloading, missing, and you're just running around in circles for a while. But the pistol would really work in any situation because it's just so good. When I wrote the format for this series, I never really thought about how this section would go for the stock secondary or stock melee weapons. For those of you who didn't know, this segment is about combos of weapons and what the featured weapon of the episode would work really well with. But for the stock pistol, it kind of just works with everything, as it's such a well-rounded gun that it would literally work with any single one of the Scout's weapons. Like, it doesn't need anything else to work well. Nothing else really needs something different than the scattergun to work well. Yeah, it just goes with everything. And I don't think you have the time to sit and listen to me explain why every single gun works together with the pistol, so I'll save you the time. Since the pistol is such a strong gun and is powerful as it is, it complements all of the scatterguns really well for all of the uses I mentioned earlier, and none of the Scout's melee weapons, in my opinion, change drastically a loadout enough so that you would take out the pistol because you're using an atomizer or something. Quite a few people got angry at me in the comments for saying that before, but yeah, I just don't think something like a melee weapon changes the whole loadout. Okay, so what do I personally think about the weapon? I think if you've been listening to this video at all, you'll probably know that I absolutely love the pistol. It's so strong in the right situation that it could literally melt an enemy before your eyes in a second or two. It complements all the other guns I use regularly as really well as well, and is super fun to play with. I feel like the Scout has a load of really fun weapons to use, but this one simple, easy, and powerful gun is one of the best ones you could pick, even though it's stock. This is why most Scouts run stock, by the way, because they make all of the stock weapons so good. The scattergun is probably one of the best scatterguns there is, because, you know, it's just the best. And the pistol is one of probably the best secondary weapons there is, depending on what you want to do with it. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please make sure you leave that a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, go and follow my Twitter and Instagram. I have those, but I don't really plug them all that much. So, you know, I'm going to try and make them a bigger part of the channel. So, yeah, follow them, please.